Hi guys, and welcome to RCC Adventures. Today, well, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different today. And what I mean by different, I mean totally the same. So today I'm going to be changing the exhaust because I hate the way it looks. I think it's far too big for this car. It's far too big for most cars, apart from maybe a JDM, I don't know, Skyline. But this ain't a Skyline. It makes great noise, and that's about it as far as I'm concerned. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one off, which there's a clamp just slightly under, just after the axle. Take it off there, and then we're going to do a sound comparison because I did a bit of filming yesterday as well. So a bit of filming of what it sounds now without the box, and then with the new one on as well. The new one is a 2.5 inch exhaust tailpipe, which is going to look a lot better. Another universal, because I like my universals. I don't do kits. I like to make them fit myself, so we're going to be doing that. And yeah, so shall we get to it? As you can see there, the exhaust is now off. Get the camera in it. There's the old exhaust book. Fair size. What I'm hoping to do with the new one is cut it. I'll cut this one about there to give it extra length, because the new one, including the tailpipe, well, it's about the same length as the whole thing. So zoom out. Ours was on the back here. It's held on by this universal exhaust clamp, which I'm going to be modifying to fit the other one. Should we see what it sounds like without the exhaust on? Also, I'm not going to rev it too hard because it is quite early still, but it'd be fun. Right, before I start her up, I'm going to show you the other exhaust. See what I mean? Because it's not the same length as the whole thing. It's the same length as the box. So if you get it out, I'll put it next to it. I'm not showing you. Oh, I kind of showed you. So that's what I mean. So if I cut the old box here, get the camera right there, and add it to this one, which hopefully, looking at the size of that, will go over that. I'll be able to clamp down on it instead of having to weld it. Stop, roll in. Yeah, that as soon as I touch it. Then the exhaust tip will come out the back of the car bed. Come out the back of there. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm hoping to clamp it rather than weld it. It'll be easier. And look at it, it's the correct size pipe, so we should be okay. So look at the size difference. Yeah, there's going to be a massive difference. It'll be interesting to see, because it'd almost be classed as a straight through, because it's the same size exhaust pipe. So the tail pipe itself is the same length as the rest of the exhaust. It's 2.5 inch all the way through. So we'll see. Right, now we start. Right, I'm not going to rev it, because one, Dad's at work, two, neighbours will get annoyed, and three, well, it's only just gone 10, so it's still quite early in the morning. But we will listen to cold start, because a couple of you have been saying filming cold start. So you're going to get a cold start with no exhaust box. That's going to be fun. Should we do it? Right, I hope you guys are ready, and sound warning for people who've got headphones in. Take them out. because this is going to hurt. Right, 3, 2, 1. Don't be too noisy. That's the sound with no muffler. So yeah, let's get to doing the no exhaust. Right, before we continue, I'd like to address an issue with my sound quality. Yeah, that cheap wireless microphone isn't brilliant. It obviously picked up the car very well, but it didn't pick me up. And what I was saying whilst I was at the ignition, I was trying to think of the word, that's bad of me. Yeah, when I was at the ignition, ready to start it, you probably did hear me, was to remove your headphones if you're wearing any, because it was going to hurt, but obviously it didn't. It was actually rather sedate, which was quite surprising. Last time I did a noise check with no exhaust, it was in front of the rear axle, so it was under the car still, so it probably amplified a bit more. But no, thinking about it, it's still under the car now, so that made no difference. So forget that. But yeah, it was a little bit quieter, possibly. I wasn't revving hard, so. But you got a cold start, that's the main thing, and it sounded good. So yeah, it was just a bit of a clarification. That yeah, it was expected to be noisy, but it wasn't as noisy as I was expecting. Yeah, so let's get to the new exhaust. We're putting it together anyway. See there, to cut the old pipe off, to then go onto the new one. Still hoping to clamp it, rather than having to weld it, but we'll see. The pipe that's coming off the old exhaust has a slightly bigger diameter than the new one, so it should clamp on there quite nice if I can. And we'll go from there. And yeah, moving on quite nicely.
And that beat is hypnotizing. Oh, oh, oh. No, we run the show.
And it has a ridge so it doesn't go any further. Hey, quit. Now is now got that pipe off there. I'm going to cut slits in it so I can clamp it. I'm going to do that now. I've been hard at work off camera, but I'm pretty sure you didn't want to see it because it took quite a long time and it might have been boring. But I've got to a point where I can think, right, I can go on the car and see if it fits. So there we go. So I've made the clamp over there. I've robbed the clamp that was on the exhaust and I found one that's slightly smaller and hopefully will fit. I've just got to hammer it on in a way that it would sit on the existing pipe on the car, but that goes inside the other exhaust, the other pipe, so we should be okay there. Yeah, that's clamped down as much as it possibly can. I think it's going to blow slightly, but I can do that at a later date. It's not like it needs it for an MOT. And then you have the clamp over there, and because it's a clamp-on clamp and not a fixed hanger, is that I can move the exhaust around to make sure it fits correctly. So we're all good. So let's get to fitting it on the car, but first I need to get a hammer and hammer on the other clamp to make sure it goes on there properly. Right, so you can see the clamp in there. I will be moving the camera when I get the exhaust ready to be in position because the camera will be in the way. Let's see if I can get this clamp to sit on there better. It's only just on there. Remember the truth, I'd probably come off. Yep, thought it, man. Anyway, I'm at the end of the thread here. Might need to get another clamp. Right. I'm going to do this off camera because it might take a while. Right guys, well the exhaust is on. It doesn't come out as far as I was hoping, but at the same time I think it looks pretty cool. I'll leave it up to you. Then what we're going to do is obviously listen to what it sounds like. So we've heard what it sounds like with the old exhaust on. We've heard what it sounds like without the exhaust on, so it's just basically a muffler delete. And now we're going to hear what it sounds like with the new exhaust on. It should be a different noise. Might be better, might be worse, might be quiet, might be loud. Don't know. Let's find out. Right, so from up here you can kind of see it popping out. And from down here, I think that's a good look. Now I do believe it's going to blow because of the clamps are not the correct size, and some of the cuts I made for so you can crush the pipe when clamping it is a little bit long, but it might blow, it might not. I've clamped up as much as I possibly could, but instead of me talking, let's listen to what it sounds like. So I'm just going to sort my mini tripod out, get you in for a closer look. Put it there, and I'm hoping I turn that on. It's now on, so you should be able to hear me now. Hopefully it sounds okay. And let's see what it sounds like. Now I have no idea what it sounds like because I've only literally just put the exhaust on, so I haven't started it. So you and me, it's going to be a bit of a reveal. Let's move the camp up a bit more. So look at the ground. That's too much. There we go. Right, let's see. Let's shut the gate so Amelia the dog decides to come out. She's not going to come out into the car park. Well, she'll just be in the garden. So yeah, I'm a bit nervous about this because I have no idea what it's going to sound like. It might sound absolutely brilliant, or it might actually sound pretty good. Right, hopefully you can hear me. The microphone is still the same microphone as before. The cheap wireless one, which isn't good. Oh, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oopsie! Well, I approve. You probably approve, because who doesn't like a 5-cylinder? Right, so yeah, it is slightly blowing. You can hear it. But I'll address that another day. Now I'm not bothered. So there we go. New exhaust fitted. So I do need to get new clamps. Well, at least one new clamp, because it's not quite the right size. And I do need to sort out the fact there is a little bit of a leak due to me cutting too far across the pipe, but whatever. It sounds better, as far as I'm concerned. I've watched back the footage and I think it does sound better, but that's my personal opinion. And well, I think it sounds better than the other exhaust that was on there, the big drain pipe exhaust, and the non-back box, so the back box delete, I'd get irritated by that quite quickly, I think. Plus I'd have to make up hangers and stuff like that to get the exhaust not balancing on the axle. So yeah, there we go. I'm happy with the way it is. I haven't taken it for a drive to see if it's annoying yet, but it probably will be, but it might not be, which I'll be really happy about if it's not. And yeah, so if you like what you see, please could you subscribe to my channel. Go watch my other videos as well, because mostly appreciated. And you could share, please, on social media, any social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You know where to find me. I'll put the accounts in the description below. And if you could like my videos, and as well, please comment. I'd much appreciate having your comments about what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, because anything is very helpful. Okay, cheers guys.